All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm glad you could join me today. We're going to look at my node projects that I'm invested in, or at least a few of them. We might do a little bonus afterwards, but the main ones are going to be those that are part of the Union of Transparency, specifically Thor, Power Nodes, and the upcoming Hive investments. We'll see you in a second. All right, let's do Thor first. So, brief description here. Thor's going through a reward cut change, specifically happened past few weeks, and they're ongoing with that. So, the biggest node has already gone through a cut. The second one, which is Thor, and maybe I'll just point that out here on the website for you guys. Odin is the largest. It's already hit it. You can see the 8th of February, they went through their cut. Thor has already gone through theirs as well. And so next up, 3 days, we've got Freya will be dropping, and then Heimdall coming up 1st of March. So they're doing this specifically for sustainability. It's a great idea. The community has been very accepting of it because we want this to continue to live and not die. More information on that if you guys are interested. I have that linked up here if you want to take a look at it. I actually have a spreadsheet as well tied in there if you want to look at the numbers. So I'm going over where I am right now. I'm going to look at the pricing as well for Thor. In general, the entire markets are down. So we're not in a good period of time right there for you guys, just so you know. It's not pretty right now. So between it's just Bitcoin, all the crypto in general, stocks are in a bad situation right now. So don't fret over that. Buy low, sell high. Take that for a moment for what it's worth. So I'm still all about Thor and the rest of these, or otherwise I wouldn't be invested in them and doing a video on them if I was worried about it that much. Side note, I am not a financial advisor. Whatever you put into crypto, know that you can lose it. I'm just giving you entertainment and giving you my thoughts on this for myself. Okay. Specifically with Thor, I've got a Thor node and a Heimdall node. I am really close to being able to create another Thor node, which I intend to do. I don't know if I'll ever get to Odin before they put the cap on nodes. That's out there. They've got a little nice description of what's going on there, but we don't have time to get into all that. Please, if you're interested in this, guys, go check out their Discord. It's linked here at the bottom. So tons of information on there. I showed it in the previous video that I just mentioned up top. So right now I've got a couple of rewards I haven't claimed. My Thor is holding those. I didn't claim them before when they had the 1% on the claim. I didn't want to. I am waiting for the quality of life change so that I can use those combined with the rewards in my wallet to create that reward, or that node rather. Looking forward to that. I would love to get an Odin. It may not happen. I don't have the funds right now, and it's going to take a long time. But really wish I could do an Odin. I'd love to get God mode, which is having one of each node get you God mode. So all right, so I got my rewards there. I have some in the farm as well. I actually staked the LP, the Thor AVEX LP. So I'm earning that passively right now. I've got 1.51 Thor that I have not claimed. I don't know how many days that's been. So, food for thought. This has been dropping. So you can see there's about 7 million invested. It's quite a bit. So it started off way higher, but that's still putting out good numbers. I think it's still beating. Um, it's for sure almost near Thor the last time I looked. Don't quote me on that. I have a spreadsheet, but it was almost comparable to Thor at one point. But anyways, I've got that there. I'm not going to unstake it because this was about $1,000. So you can see the price drop of Thor, and even AVEX has dropped now. That's really hurt my my LP. So I've got some impermanent loss if I actually take that out. So I'm going to leave that going. There's no point in me taking it out. Keep earning Thor and keep building out nodes. So here's the single staking pool for Thor down here. Obviously not nearly as much. 45% is not going to net you much, but I got a decent amount in here. So I'm right at 0.05 Thor. This is very, very minor here. I'm going to say that's probably a week if my math is right, if I remember right. All right. So let's take a look at the price because that's where a lot of people are concerned, and I totally get it. However, note how much it's dropped. If you go look at the overall market, let me drop over here. These are the ones I'm following, but the entire market is ugly. So the only two things I see here are Flux, which I love the fact that they're up. Another node that I plan on creating in the future that I'm waiting on the halving for. They're up a little bit. You're not talking much, but overall, the past 7 days, everything in this column is down, guys. So note the reason Thor is down is the contract price action way back to ring, all that. So that's why the V2 contract is in work and they're going to release that. I think they gave an estimated time frame of a couple of weeks. That was maybe this past Thursday when they did the AMA, or maybe that Friday morning. But anyways, they've already given a good chunk of news on that. All right, so let's take a look at the Discord to specifically reference all the changes. Note this area here, Loki, the team, they did a good update on what was coming this past week. I mentioned the V2 contract, so these are the features specifically that they're promising. So, first note with the contract, they will no longer be a fork. They're built on completely custom contracts. So, no more ring fork. They're going to be completely new as of V2. That's really good news. So we already mentioned LP staking, regular single staking. Those are done. Thor lottery's coming, the Thor NFT. So the NFT specifically is a big part of that. So that's coming. I'm looking forward to the NFT because that means that you'll have value completely in what you have. Major difference there in order for you not to lose the investment completely. The monthly node fees are coming, so they have 2 weeks there for the ETA as well. And note, the audit on that contract is the major part of a lot of this. So the lottery, the NFT is way later, mind you, but like the monthly node fees are coming. Those node fees are going to be huge to sustain Thor and to keep it running. So this is very similar to Strong, but you can see the additional features here. Code optimization, so they expect savings on gas fees. Compound with wallet balance, I mentioned that. That's a quality of life change that everybody's looking forward to, and they expect about 2 weeks there. The unlimited nodes, so while it says that, that's for V2, but they still do not intend to have that just means per wallet, and they still intend to have a node cap, period, every node out there, like all of them combined. I don't know what that's going to be. They'll announce that, I'm assuming, at some point. So wallet integrations, there it looks like they're going to support Wallet Connect, so besides MetaMask. All right, so if you notice here, all of this, all the additional features will be rolled out in 2 weeks as V2. So essentially, they're waiting for the audit, and that's right after. So the audit from Certic is going to be done, and then V2 will go live. The market drop, along with the other issues that are affecting it, I still have a lot of good feelings here. I'm invested in it, so I want to see it succeed, and I think the entire community does. They're working hard. All right, let's talk about power nodes now. I got into this because their price had dropped pretty significantly, and it's been that way for a while now. I just now had taken a look at it, but I did a little research on it. I still feel pretty good about this. I think this is a bit of a sleeper. I feel decent about them, so I got in and I just bought the large node, the Superhuman is what it's called, which I think there's a new UI they're going to release. They're also working on a V2 contract, so they're going through the same stuff that Thor is going through because they're a ring fork as well, really a Thor fork, but they have the same issues that are in that contract that were inherent with the more nodes you buy, the price actually goes down as a result because of the way the sell-offs work with the tokens. Anyways, some of that's a little bit over me. I generally get it, but it's an issue with the way the contract functions. That's going to be fixed. It's going to allow them to do buybacks. I've listened to some of that in their AMAs. These guys are working at it, and they're pretty close to that being released. So looking forward to that. I think this is going to pick up as well. So with that, I know I haven't mentioned much about power, so there's not much else for me to say. It's very similar. It is on the Phantom network, so it is not on AVAX. Thor is AVAX, and power is Phantom. This is pretty simple. This is not much different. So I literally got into this yesterday. So you're seeing this fresh. There's not a lot on the website. So again, these guys are working on it, but they have a Discord with plenty of good information as well. And so you can expect this to grow because I think they're going to start to push their Twitter presence once this contract comes in. And my opinion is that when these V2 contracts go live, I expect these things to take off. And they already, in my opinion, Thor took off. And I still think Power kind of took off, just not at the rate that you'd want. But V2 is going to be another push. So sustainability through treasuries and whatnot, that's a big push for both of these. I think Power has got a validator on both Phantom, and I think they have one that they're setting up on AVAX. So might be some partnery kind of stuff going on there since they're in the Union of Transparency together. Let's take a look at the price chart. Same situation here. They had a little bit of a boost the other day, but they're kind of back down now. Down in the 12 buck range. Of course, I bought at a higher point. They're at a good price right now. My opinion is, I want them to survive too. We come back here a month ago, they went all the way up to 45 bucks, which grand scheme of things, if you look at where they are now, that's very impressive. These guys started, by the way, back in December, around the same time frame as Thor. So still think there's a lot of good growth in this, but again, do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you advice on this. I like what I have here as an investment and hope it continues to grow. Look forward to the next few weeks for both of these. I don't know the time frame on Power. I know they've said they're close, but I don't know much more than that. So with that, let's go take a look now at Hive Investments and see what the next article they released is. So this was pretty cool. This was a great read. I have a video on this as well up top. So take a look at my Hive Investments video. So this is specifically talking about fundraising and getting ready to launch and how they're going to get their initial capital. So that's what the Founders Queen's about, but the Founders Queens are a little bit more exciting. So what this is specifically doing is this is telling you how they're going to get their 2 million in capital or their liquidity to start off. And so that's to create that LP in order to give backing and have a nice, smoother flow in without all the crazy price action. Anyways, they're going to do this Queen's auction on the 28th. So what is the Queen's auction? Essentially, they're going to mint 20 NFTs and they're all queens. So remember, there's only three, and queens are the rarest and they also provide the most return. So there's only a 0.5% chance of minting one of these whenever the actual mints occur. Those are random. These are specifically going to be auctionable, and they're going to have a little bit more of a mechanism that's going to make it or help it get to that point, because the initial pricing was about 1,000 to mint an NFT. So you might ask, how are they going to go from 20 of these to somehow make those worth 2 million? Here's how. So this is specifically catering to whales. I'll come back to this if I don't forget the limited time anti-whale launch mechanisms. I feel like the cool part of this, the Queen's auction, is what they're doing to incentivize these. You're going to spin or auction these off with a die, so that's what you're going to bid with. They're going to start in 15,000 die increments. Yes, so $15,000 is the starting bid, and it increments from there. But each time they increment, they gain zero point 0.2 honey as a reward per day. So they start off at zero point 0.2, they're the highest, zero point 0.2 honey per day for a queen. Now for these queens, you start off at 15,000. When you add another 15,000, they get an extra zero point 0.2 honey in rewards per day. Another 15,000 bid, now it becomes another zero point 0.2, so now it's at zero point 0.6. So you see how this goes. People are going to come in, these are going to be insane. Yes, it's expensive, but I would love to have one of these if I had that kind of capital. So I'm just kind of nerding out here. Here's the final number, assuming that they hit 120,000 die. Reading right here, guys. If that queen had the final bid at 120,000 die, that queen now produces 1.6 honey per day. It's crazy compared to the zero point 0.2 that a standard queen gets. And they even talk, if honey goes to about $500 for the token price, then you're going to net $800 per day on this queen. It's going to get paid off very quickly, but I'm not one of the people that can afford it. So I'm going to get the common NFT version of the queen at best. I'm not saying I'm getting one because the chances are still rare. But anyways, I think this is super cool. Let's scroll back up here. These are the anti-whale launch mechanisms that they're going to have at the very beginning of when this goes live for the public. This is not the Queen's auction. So they're going to have an NFT mint limit. So that's per wallet. So that helps with, you don't want, it's going to be much easier, is the point, to use your same wallet to try to purchase NFTs. So they're limiting it that way so that you have to jump wallets if you're going to continue to try to buy. Maximum number of HMY tokens per wallet. That's a huge deal. So you can't hold a ton of them, which means you can't buy as many NFTs. Enhanced sales tax. So I think this was in the beginning that they mentioned this, but they're going to basically have a on launch day, they're going to control the sell pressure by having a sales tax on honey, which essentially means that it looks like 100% allocated to the treasury until it reverts to 15%. So it basically is huge tax, and then it's going to taper over time. I don't know what that's going to be because they didn't mention it, but point is they're going to reduce the price fluctuations on honey sales that it causes. So that will stop the price of honey from drastically dropping, and the transfers between wallets is the last item they're going to stop. All right, I think that's kind of it. I went over this. Oh, I didn't mention, the auction time frame lasts 8 hours per Queen's auction or Queen's NFT. So there's 20 of them, like I said, so that means there's gonna be, what is that, 160 hours total? I don't know if they'll just do, an 8-hour period each day. That may be up here, but I may have missed it. But anyways, this is gonna be super cool. The website is very clean. I love a minimalistic website, but still full of information. But that's it for this. I don't have any other updates on here. I'm ready and excited for this to come out. This is their next upcoming articles. Super secret marketplace. So I think this is going to be where you sell you or they whoever it is that has an NFT. I think this is where you can sell them. Of course, the white paper after that, guys. Hive Academy. That's an education based item. I'm not all too sure what they'll have in there. And then finally, last whitelist and launch strategy, wrapping up to get this thing out to you guys and myself. So, last but not least, okay, let's take a look at my final, I guess, bonus node project, VAPORFI. This is not part of the UOT. This is just a separate one I'm invested in. I only have a little bit, so you can see here. This is a pretty clean interface. They used to be called Vapor nodes, by the way, but they rebranded to VAPORFI. There's a bunch of information. I don't have anything on this one. Maybe I'll do a video on this specifically in the future. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but you can see total nodes. They have over 27,000 of these. They offer 1%. So this is very different from the tiered aspect and a lot of other things. They offer 1% per day, period. Your node sizes can be different because essentially you buy a node and your node size is whatever amount of vapor that you stick into it. So the VPND is the token, and if you have, I believe 1,000 is the minimum, by the way. So you have 1,000 size vapor node that you can put together or create. And then if you have 2,000, you could create a node. If you have 10,000, that's also a node size. So it's very different in how they function. I think this is ground up. I don't think this is a fork of anything from what I understand. So I felt pretty good about it when I got into it, did a little reading, and I have come to understand that they do have a treasury. So they are investing in things out there. So you can see here the minimum node price again is 1,000. So you can come over here and see this. I think you can only have 5 nodes per wallet. There's a lot of strategy involved in this. I'll talk about that in a second, and we may come over to the documentation so you can see that. You guys can go over here and get through this because, again, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. I want to wrap this video up. But this is my node that I built. So you can see this is what I put into it. So again, there aren't different node sizes, but there are. It is very different. So I have a node size that contains 3,658 vapor. So the way this works, and I'll try to give a brief general explanation. That's what's in this node. If I create another one, I can claim off of this. So you see right now I have a little over 85 of the vapor token. Once I get to 1,000, I could claim it whenever I wanted. But once I get to 1,000, I can create another node because that's the minimum. Or I can actually take this and compound what I have here. So you can see the compound all. I think that's multiple nodes, but I can just compound, and that's going to get dumped back in here. So there's some strategy in different node sizes because there are compounding bonuses, and there are also bonuses that you have on compounds and claims called a diamond hands bonus. So that's what this little symbol here is. It says coal hands right now, hodl to diamond. So they have some interesting little bonus stuff going on here. Let's go to the documentation. I think this is probably going to give you the information. So it kind of goes through here. Come take a look at this, guys. By the way, this is essentially the white paper. There's a lot of information in here. I don't want to go over all of it, but the reward specifically. So diamond hands bonus. So again, you saw that little symbol. I'm at level 0, but after the first 3 days, you get a boost to 1.05. So essentially, if you had 50 tokens, you multiply that by 1.05. So you get an additional little bit. So 2.5 in this case, because it's 1.05 is not much. That's basically a 5% bonus. But in this situation, you get an extra 2.5 tokens. Now, there are taxes. They go through claim taxes down here in the example section. These are very well written. Come take a look at these. But note, level 2 will jump up after 7 days to a 1.2 or a 20% bonus. Level 3, 15 days. So if you can hold for 15 days without claiming, they will give you a 40% bonus. That's crazy. And it gives you incentive to hold instead of just outright selling. So take a look at this. They walk you through everything here. Once you do use or claim, that diamond hands bonus resets. So then you have to wait again to get it back. So last thing, and we'll quit this video because it's long. We have a compound bonus. It's totally based off of your node size. So this little table here tells you that. So if you have a node that is less than 5,000 vapor, you get a 25% bonus for compounding. If it's between 5,000 and 10,000, you get a 15% bonus, and you can see it goes up from there until you get no bonus if you're at 20,000 plus. So the whole point of that is it gives you another incentive to compound. Now that's where the strategy comes in. The diamond hands bonus plays into this as well, and you don't lose it for compounding. You only lose that for claiming. So you get a bonus for diamond hands and for the compound bonus, depending on your node size. So you get the diamond hands bonus and the compound bonus. So there's good explanations down here again. Just wanted to mention that it makes you kind of do a little bit more figuring. Like it's definitely not as simple, which I'm okay with because there's a lot more to think about in trying to maximize your return and your output. But anyways, come take a look at this, guys. I'll have a link to all of these down in my description. So again, that was all my nodes. I don't have any other nodes that I'm invested in right now. Tried to jump on Elixir, which is kind of a node NFT project. I was late. No chance of me getting in there. And I'm not going to do the public probably at this point. But that's a huge gamification new project that just came out that I think is really cool. But man, does it get complicated from what I've seen. I think that's it, guys. I do want to say if you guys like the channel, please give me a like on this video and a subscribe to the channel. It really helped me out. And hit that notification bell. I want to continue to produce some good quality videos, and in the future, maybe I'll have a different camera. That's my next thing. I'd love to upgrade a few things, but yeah. If you guys would like to see anything else, let me know, and we will see you next time.